Hello, everyone, and welcome to our bootcamp. So, today is day 3 of our bootcamp, and we are very excited because today we are going to go ahead and build our own portfolio website. That's correct. So, we will be starting from the very basics. Let me fix this a little bit, and then we will create our own personal portfolio website. So first of all, as always, please make sure, please confirm that you are able to hear me properly and we are good to go. So good to go. Audio is window. HS Math is saying audio is window, which is clear. Yes, sounds great. Okay, great to have you all on board. As always, please mention which country and which city today as well are you coming from? Where are you tuning in from? Which country and which city? Madrid, Spain. Cancun, Mexico. Split, Croatia. Lisbon, Portugal. Siberia, Belgrade. India, Sitapur. India, Bhubaneswar. Atlanta, USA. Kochi, Kerala, India. Oslo, Norway. Canada, Montreal. Islamabad, Pakistan. Hello from Meru, Kenya. Mardan, KPK, Pakistan. India. Fes. Fes is a short or is it the actual city? Fes, Morocco. Lagos, Nigeria. Kuwait, Abu Halifa. Colombo, Sri Lanka. India, Indore, Pak. Tandu Muhammad Khan. Makassar, Indonesia. West Bengal, India. So there's a lot of diversity again, and I'm very glad to have all of you on board. Makassar, Indonesia, then Bengal, India, then Denmark, the city. I can't read what exactly is written here. So Colombo, Sri Lanka, Fenty, Turkey, Lahore, Pakistan. That's great. So we have a lot of diversity around here, and it's good to know that everybody is tuning in. For some people, it's morning. For some people, it's late at night. Yesterday, we had a comment that my mother is scolding me that you are up so late watching YouTube. So that is one way, and the other way is people are waking up and they are starting with their morning coffee. So that's good to know that people are tuning in from all around the world. And today is very exciting because we will have something meaningful by the end of today. You will have something meaningful. So which means that you will have your own portfolio website built by end of the day, hopefully, if everything goes well. That is the plan for today. So we will touch a little bit of basics and then we will directly move on to the project where we will build our website. And tomorrow we are going to look at OpenCV and object detection. How can we do that? What are the basics of computer vision and how can we use object detection to our benefit? And I would encourage you to add that to the portfolio website that you will be building today so that you can utilize and you can even showcase what you have learned during this bootcamp. Good morning. I want the tele drone from you. Okay, can I throw it and can you catch it? Rawalpindi, Pakistan, UP, India, Rio Janeiro, Brazil. So good to have you all on board. I'm very glad that a lot of you are joining in, tuning in, and hopefully you will be creating your websites today and you will share as well. So as soon as we are done with the website development, I would like you to share the link as well, and we will look at what exactly are you building. So if you build your website along with the chat, then I will share it in the chat as well, and I will share here live as well what did you build. And tomorrow as well, if we have some time, I will look at some of the websites, some of the portfolio websites you guys build for yourself, so that the world can see and appreciate what you have done. I won the Telodrone from you. Oh, okay, yeah. So basically, when we are launching the Kickstarter, as we have promised, we are finalizing the Kickstarter, and we will be launching in August. So that was our timeline, and we are sticking to that. Hopefully, there will be no delays. So in August, we will be giving out or rolling out our AI drone programming course, and with that, you will get the drone as well. Where do I share the link? You will be able to share the link here, and there will be a competition as well. Tomorrow, I will explain what will be the competition and how you can participate so that you can get started with it. Okay, I am an electronics engineer. Good to have you on board. So yesterday, we started off. So you are able to see my screen, right? Everything is clear. Because here in the chat, next to the chat, I am having some issue here. It's not showing me the screen. Just want to confirm that you are able to see. Okay, great. So now let's go ahead and first of all, let's look at our Python page, not the Python page, the Bootcamp page, where we are learning Python and computer vision. So this is the page. If you haven't signed up, make sure you do sign up, because you will get access to all the content. Here we have the access for day one. As you can see, we have the video, then we have the PDF file, all of the slides that we used. We also have the code, and then if you go to day two, then the code is there as well along with the video. So here you can see all of these are. Now we are considering the prices right now. We are looking at what exactly will be the prizes, the contest. So make sure you are prepared and you participate in the contest, because you will be winning exciting prizes. So, and then of course, if you just joined in, then you can go through the prerequisites, install them, and then go through day one and day two, and then you will continue with day three. Now, also we have the 20% off limited discounts only for the users who are enrolled in the bootcamp, and you will get the coupon code. Once you click on it, you will get a coupon code, and you can access that to buy any of our premium courses. We also have the NVIDIA NIM, which is the sponsor of this event, along with OpenCV University. Now, NVIDIA NIM, as we discussed earlier yesterday, is a very good platform. It's a great platform if you want to deploy it in real world. Now, everything is good when you are testing, but when you want to scale it up, nowadays it becomes very difficult, because it's like TikTok and Instagram. If you upload a video, out of nowhere, it can just blow up. It can get viral. So similarly, if you are deploying on a simple hosting platform, then it's okay. A few people can use it. But all of a sudden, if a lot of people join in, if it gets successful, then you can face a lot of issues. So scalability is a big issue when you are creating these AI apps. So they have made it very easy. They have pre-built AI models that you can just code with a few lines. So if you go to, and you can click here as well, NVIDIA NIM for optimized AI inference, you can click on that. It will take you to that page. You can click on try now, and you will get a lot of credits for free that you can use. And here, for example, you have Llama 370B. Now, normally this cannot run on a normal PC. Even with good GPUs, this will not run properly. So with just this lines of code, I don't know how many there are, maybe 15 lines of code, you can run this. So it's very easy and very scalable. That's the main points. So you can experiment, you can learn about this for free, but then if you want to deploy it to real world applications, then yes, of course, you will have to pay. Now, the best thing is, I think for people like us, for programmers, this is a very good option if you are selling it to someone. So if you are selling it to a company, you are building them some AI model or AI platform, then this can be very handy because you will not have to pay anything. You will be running with the credits that you have. And later on, if the company actually buys it, they will have their API key and they will run it and they will pay for it as per the requirement. And it is much faster than other APIs. I believe it was 3 times faster than the others. So there are many, of course, but right now you know that NVIDIA is #1 in the world right now as a company. So they are worth, I don't know, $3-4 trillion. So yeah, they have very good, what do you call it, options for generative AI. What will be the competition? Please explain. Competition will be explained tomorrow, and I will give you all the details and the link as well. What exactly will can you upload? How will you upload? How can you participate, and so on. Can I run a NIM on my Jetson Nano 4 GB? Locally, I'm not sure, but of course, on cloud you can. It can do both. It can work locally and online. So it depends which one do you want. So for locally, very few people actually have the resources to run big models. So most of the times it's better to run on cloud. Okay, so moving on, today we are on day 3, and today we are going to create our own website. Very exciting, very practical, and very informative, hopefully. So what we are doing today, I will open up, first of all, our chapters that we have done so far. Now, there is one thing that needs to be done, and I think that is very important to learn, and that is functions. So that is a little bit advanced, not that advanced, but a little bit advanced. So we are going to write here chapter 4 _ advanced. Can I do it on Collab? Yes, you can do it on Collab. Chapter 4 advanced. Now, what exactly are we going to do in chapter 4? In chapter 4, we are going to learn about functions. So for somebody who has never done programming, it's a little bit hard to understand the concept. So let me explain it in very, very simple terms, right? So let's say I have a robot and I want to move that robot, and I will say dance. I want the robot to dance, right? Now, in order for it to dance, I will say, let's say, I will say move hands. What this means, forget about it right now. Just forget about the actual code. Just think of it as we're just talking in English. So in order to dance, I will say move hands. In order to dance, I will say move dot legs, let's say. Then move dot head. Then I will say twist dot clockwise and jump dot up, and let's say drop dot mic. At the end, you drop the mic. A little revision on while loop. Okay, so actually we did not study while loops because they are rarely used. Most of the times we use for loops, and while loops they cause a lot of problems as well. Clockwise. Okay, I will do a little bit of revision of chapter 3, what we did yesterday before we continue with the example. So yesterday we learned about list functions. So basically you have length. If you wanted to ask what is the length of this list, how many values it has, then you can write length and it will give you the length. For example, right now it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will give you the answer 5. Same way you can find what is the maximum value. Here right now the maximum value will be 52. So it will give us the answer of 52 here. Similarly, minimum will give the answer of 18. So that is what we will get in minimum age list. So that's how you can use functions in order to enhance your programming with lists. Then you can change the list values. So for example, if you have this list, the way you change it is using index numbers. So index numbers are, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So what you can do is you can, if you wanted to add, you can write append. So my fruits dot append and whatever entry you want to add. So that what it will do is it will add here orange like this. So that's the basic idea. It will add orange. And then if you want to remove, you can write dot pop and then you can give the index value. Let's say I wanted to remove cherry. I will write 2 here and that will remove the cherry. Then we have slicing. If you wanted, for example, banana, cherry and lemon, then you can make another list with only 3 elements, only these 3 elements. How can you do that? You can write here 1, start from 1 and go till number 4. Number 4 will not be included, so it will give you a list of these 3. So 1, 2, 4. So that's the basic idea. Then we had dictionaries. Dictionaries are very simple. It's an alternative to lists. So list basically has only one variable at a time, right? So there's one information, that's it. Now in dictionaries, you can have a name and a value. So the name is normally referred to as key. So you can say the name is Murtaza, the age is 30, and the Ismail is true. So this way, if some things are related to each other, you can put them in a dictionary. Like you have a mobile phone, its number, its let's say battery, its for example type, and all of these different things you can put in a single dictionary, right? And then you can replicate for other phones the same dictionary, like we have done here, person 1 dictionary, person 2 dictionary. So that's the basic idea. And then if you wanted to get information from the dictionary, you can write, for example, the dictionary is called person 1 dictionary. So I can write person 1 dictionary age. So that will give me the value of 30. So if I wanted, for example, the name of person 2, I will write person 2 dictionary name and it will give the name, which is Sarah. So that's the idea. Then we studied if statements. If statement is plain English, that if this is true, do this. If this is false, do this. So is 3 less than 2? It's false. So it is going to print this. So that's how it works. And you can use it in many different applications. For example, you can use it in with a list. So you can check if something is in stock or not. So here we have the stock, and we are checking if our product name, which we got from the user, is in stock or not. So if the user types in, let's say, monitor, it will check whether it's in this list or not. If it is, then it will say product is available. If it's not, it will say product is not available. Then we have for loops. For loops, you can simply write, you can loop, for example, 5 times, 10 times. So an example I gave was that if you wanted to change the names over here, and you wanted to write S in front of all of these, then you can go through all of these individually 4 times and then write an S in front of it like this. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, and another time with 4, and you can change the values. Instead of doing that, you can do it in a loop, and the loop will automatically do change everything. And in every loop, the value of X will change. So here it is 0, here it's 1, here it's 2. Same way, the first time it will be 0, the second time it will be 1, third time it will be 2, and so on. So then we have fruit stock, which is, for example, orange is 25, apple is 56, lemon is 65. So if we want to iterate through a dictionary, instead of writing in range or name equals this, we are going to write name value and dot items in front of it. And that will allow you to iterate through a dictionary. So that's the basic idea. So if you wanted to go into the detail, you can of course go and look at yesterday's session, and you will understand that further. Okay, now moving on to chapter 4. Now let's say we want a robot to dance. So this, let's say these are the commands that we need to give in order for the robot to dance. So we need to say move hands, we need to say move legs, we need to say move head, twist clockwise, jump up, and drop mic. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movements. Okay, so let's say anytime I want to do this, what I will do is, or let's say I wanted to do this 5 times, right? So what can I do? I can copy this and I will paste it here. Then I will copy this and I will paste it here. Then I will copy this and I will paste it here. And then I will copy this and I will paste it here. So this now it's doing it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as you can see, this is very repetitive, right? And every time we have to ask it to dance, we have to pretty much write the exact same thing. So that's a waste of time and energy to write it again and again. And it's not very readable as well, because it's confusing. Why is it repeating multiple times? Now, one way to do this is to put all of this in a box, and then every time we call that box, right? So we put it in a container. Let's say we call it robot dance. Okay, and we put all of this inside this. Okay, so now what I can do, imagine that anytime I want the robot to dance, I can simply say robot dance. Let's say robot underscore dance. Right? Now, if I wanted to do it 5 times, I can simply copy this and paste it 5 times. As you saw earlier, we had more than 30 lines of code, maybe 40 lines of code. But now I only have 16 lines of code. Is this clear? How does step work in slicing? Step work in slicing? I don't understand the question. Do practical exercise? Yes, we are going to create a website today. So stay tuned. How you bring PyCharm auto suggestions while writing code? It's GitHub Copilot. We're using that. So is this part clear? Now, if I wanted to make it even smaller, what I can do is I can put this in a for loop. If I want to do it 5 times, I can write here for x in range 0 to 5, I will write robot underscore that's right. So this and this is exactly the same. But the problem is, if I wanted to do this, let's say 100 times, then I will have to copy this 20 more times, right? But if I just do it with a for loop, I will only have to change this here as 100. So that's the basic idea. So when we put all of this code in one place in a container, we call this container a function. We call this a function. This function is robot dance. So there can be many functions. In fact, the ones that we have studied earlier, like length or maximum or minimum, these are also functions that have their code inside it. If you want to see the code, I can show you the code of this as well. Do you want to see the code? You can basically look at the basic Python packages and you can find how does it work. So if you press Control and left click, it will take you to that code. So that function. So we can see here, this is the idea behind a function. Right now, you don't see anything here, but don't worry. We will see how can we write our own functions and how does it work. So if you see here, we have the function of max, we have the function of locals, license, length, all of that, right? Now, what do you see in common? The common part, if you look closely, is that all the functions, they are starting with def. Here def, here def. So all of these functions, they are a snippet of code that starts with def. So similarly, what we can do is to create our own function. What we can do, let me comment all of this so you can understand if you want to revise again. So here we are going to create a function. So let's say that function will do something useful. Let's say it will calculate the circumference of a circle, given that we input a radius. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the calculation for circumference if you have the radius? Can anyone tell me that? The bootcamp will go how many days? it will be only a few more days, depending on the speed. So the mathematical formula of circumference is 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by radius. So for example, we can say that our constant k is 2 multiplied by 3.14. That's our constant, right? So we can write it as k. And then our circumference is c, let's say, equals to k multiplied by whatever the radius is, right? So whatever the radius value is, so let's say we write here radius. And above this, we can define radius equals, let's say the radius is 5. So is this clear how this will work? We can simply print this. We can write print c, and this will give us the circumference. If we run this, right click and run, it will give us 3.400000002. Right or wrong? So this is basically your functionality. Let's say if I wanted to calculate the radius of, let's say, if I wanted to calculate the radius of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9 and 10. So if I wanted to do that, how can I do it? The first and the very easiest way I would change this value to 1, and then I will copy this and I will change the value to 2. Then I will change the value to 3. Then I will do it for 4 and so on, right? So if I run this, you will see we have 4 circumference. 1 for 1, for 2, for 3, and for 4. Right? So we can do it like this. Now, the thing is that this thing right now is repeated. This is repeated again and again and again and again, right? So what we can do is we can create a function out of this. What if we wanted to create a container in which we just input the radius and it outputs us the circumference? I don't care what's inside, what calculation it does, it just gives me the output. For example, you can think of ChatGPT as a function as well, because you input what is the weather today, it will send the command to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will do some calculation or whatever, but it will not tell you what it did, but it will just give you the answer. Okay, the weather right now is 28 degrees Celsius. So that is also a function, right? You can intuitively think it is kind of a function. So a function will have an input, then it will have an output. So in order to create a function out of this, what we can do is we can write def, as you have seen earlier, whenever we are creating a function, we use def. Now, when we write def, then we need to give the name of the function. And this should be small letters, and it should have an underscore if there are multiple words. So for example, we can write circumference calculator, right? And then we will put in brackets and a semicolon, a colon. So this is basically how you define a function. So you will write the name, and then you will write a colon and a bracket in front of it. Now inside this, you are going to write all of the code. So I can copy all of this code and I will paste it here. Right? So right now, this is our radius, this is the constant, this is the circumference, and this is basically your print. Now this has become a function, but the problem is that the user needs to tell what is the radius, because right now the radius is 1. The user will define what is the radius. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 10? It can be anything. It can be 100. So the user will define. So when the user defines something, we need to put it inside the bracket here. So here we can write radius, and that is it. So this now is a function in which the user will define the radius, and we will return. Right now we are just printing the output, which is circumference, but we need to return the value. We will say return the value of C, because maybe we need to use it with some other function. Maybe we need to do further calculations on it. So for that, we will say return the value. So now what I can do, I can simply say that my circumference calculator, and I can give in the value of the radius. So my radius can be 1, and if I give in this, it will print the value of C, and it will also return. But where is it returning? It will return in a variable. So we need to write here the variable. For example, we can write here our value, or we can write our circumference 1 equals this. So now if we want to use circumference 1, we can use it after we call the function. So when you write it like this, this is basically calling the function. So when you write this, it will go over here, it will make the radius 1, it will do the calculations one by one, and it will return the C value over here. That's how it will do. Now what I can do, I can copy this and I can do it for as many times as I want. So I can say circumference of 100 is 100 here, circumference of, let's say, 56, and I can write here 56, and that will give me the values. So what I can do, I can let me remove these. I can simply run it, and this will give me the circumference of radius when radius is 1, when radius is 100, and when radius is 56. You can also write it like this with an F string. If you remember, we studied F string yesterday. So you can write F and then double quotes, and you can write circumference of a circle with radius is, and then you write the value of C. Why did it do that? It should do like this, is C. Circumference of a circle with radius is C. So if we run this now, It will say circumference of a circle with radius 1 is 6.28. Circle with radius 100 is 628.0. Circle with radius 56 is 351.68. So somebody suggested for I in range 10 circumference this. Yeah, you can loop it, but in looping, that's a different thing. So looping is basically, if you want to do it 10 times, right? Then you can loop it, and exactly if you wanted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what if you wanted 110 and 56, or 110 and 200, or 1, 3, 4, 8? Then you can do it manually like this. Or sometimes you want to call the function one time, then there is some other program, and if something happens, then you call the function again. So for that reason, if you want to call the function in many different places in the code, then you can create this function and call it wherever you want it from. So that's the benefit of creating a function. Is there any free Copilot? I believe there is an alternative of Copilot that is free. Yes. Will Python automatically know that radius is integer, not string? Yes. So Python, basically, that's one of the good things about Python. Normally in programming languages, you have to define the data type. So for example, you have to write in C, you have to write integer, and then you have to write a equals 5. So you have to define it like this. But if you are writing a equals 5, automatically Python will know it's an integer. So you don't have to define it. Yes, if the question is, can you make for loop with x that increment 1 to itself at the end of the loop until you get to 10, then break the loop, will it work? Now, it will work for this example, but as I mentioned, for this, it will not work. So you have to do it for 156. Yes, it's basically reusing the block of code. Exactly. We can put an input. We can put an input. Yes, that's the input. So here, the input is 1, which is radius. So sometimes the input can be multiple values. So for example, you can have a more complicated calculation. So after the circumference, let's say you want to multiply it with the cost, and you can write here cost per unit, and then you multiply it with that. And then you can use that here, cost per unit multiplied by C, and that's your total cost. Something like that, right? Does that make sense? Arush English is saying, please test calculator with string value of 1. The string value of 1 should not work. Let's see if it does. There you go. So it will say that non-integer of type float. So it cannot multiply a string with a number. So that's why it will not work. So if you print CIR1, then yes, the answer will be same. The C will be exactly the same. So here you can see 6.28, and this is 6.28. Yes, you can put as many variables as you want in the function defined. Yes. You can have multiple variables. Now, one thing to note is that when you are declaring something inside a function, that cannot be used outside the function. Okay, so whatever you are using inside, for example, k cannot be used outside this function. Whatever you declare inside this cannot be used, and you cannot use radius even outside the function. It will give you wrong values, or if it might give you an error. So that's the basic idea of how you can create functions. Now we are going to create another example, something that is a bit useful, and then we will move on to building our custom portfolio website. So that will be very exciting. Hey, just today I found your channel. I'm learning object detection, the 4-hour video. Here you guys are learning Python, and thanks for the video. Yes, we are learning Python, and we are going to learn how to create your own portfolio website. So if you want to learn that, stay tuned, and it's good to have you on board. The basic Python course or advanced course? This is the basic Python course. Local variables, am I wrong? No, you are right. So this is the local variable, and then you have the global variable. So whatever you write inside the function, that will be locally for that function. It's like you cannot use dollars, or you cannot, no, that's not a good example. You can use dollars outside. But yeah, but in most countries you cannot. So no, that's not a good example. Let's forget about that example. Instead, we are going to do an example where we are going to generate an invoice. So let's say you are creating a website, and in that website, whenever there is a new order, it will automatically generate that invoice, and it will save it in the database. So we need to create that function that will generate that invoice number. So we will give it the specification of what to add in the invoice number, and it will automatically generate that. Can we make a local variable global? Yes, we can do that, but it's not advisable. Using variables outside the function is not advisable. It should be used inside the function. If you want something outside, it should be handled in a different way. It should return, and then it should be used. Please tell me about global keyword. We can't use Walmart voucher in other platforms. Can be a good example. Yes. Yeah. So Walmart has their own voucher system. So you cannot use that voucher system outside Walmart. So that's a good example. Yes. The global keyword, right now, don't use the global keyword. If you're starting to learn Python, don't use the global keyword. In pretty much no case should you use global keywords. So very, very rarely you should ever use that. Always you should input a value or input values inside the function, and then you should output values outside the function. So that's how it should work. Do not try to do global thing. It's not a good idea. By the way, you can return multiple items. So for example, if you wanted to use the value of k, you could also return it like this. So now, instead of returning just one value, you can also get the value of k here. So you can do that instead of doing it globally. But again, depends on what exactly is your requirement. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead And should we do another example? Yeah, we were going to do the generate invoice example, right? So we need to generate invoice number. Now I will do this quickly because we need to move on to our portfolio website right after this, and it will be a lot of fun. So just try to understand the concept rather than repeating it. You can try it later on, but global variables slow down the program. Well, I'm not sure if they slow down the program, but it's not advisable because it can get very confusing. So let's go ahead and generate invoice number. So we are going to add a format. So this is our format. So whenever we want to create an invoice, the only thing we want to give in is the customer ID. So we will input the customer ID and it will write CVZ for CV zone, and then it will write, for example, 1234, that is the customer ID, and then it will write the date in front of that. So let's say the date is whatever it is, it will put it in front of that. So that is our invoice number that we want it to generate automatically. So the date and time it will generate automatically, and it will add CVZ in front of it. And every time there's a new order, I can use this function to generate the invoice. I am waiting. Don't forget my problem. I'm trying to make exe using Pi. That we are not going to discuss in this bootcamp. You can email us to know the answer for that. In this course, I'm waiting for CV. So is that possible to learn CV in your YouTube channel bootcamp? Yes, we will be learning CV tomorrow. And we will be doing a little bit of AI part today. So let's create that function. So if you wanted to generate invoice, you will simply write, let's say we will call it generate invoice underscore number, and then we will add customer underscore ID. So that will be our input. So the customer ID is our input, and we will use that to generate the invoice. Now let's put in the format. This is the format that we want to create. So our format will be like this. So CVZ, customer ID, and date. So first of all, we need to get the date. So how can you get it? We have a very simple library that you can import. Now, this is a new concept that we haven't discussed before, which is importing library. So other people have written other functions that you can utilize in your own code. So you can import those functions and use them. For example, there is a function to get today's date and time. So we can leverage that instead of writing the code from scratch. So we can write here, import date time. Now, the reason we can import this function, this library, is because this library comes by default with Python. When you download Python, it downloads with it. Other libraries like CVZone, like OpenCV and Streamlit, we have to install locally, manually. So I will share as well later on how you can install that. But for now, we are going to use this. So import date and time. And then here we are going to go ahead and write that our current dates equals date time dot now. Now, how do I know this? This is mentioned in their documentation. I did not memorize it. I was not born with this information. The only way you can know is looking at the documentation of this library. Okay, so we will check what do they say, and what they have said is you can use datetime dot now to get the current date. So if we print this out, let's see what do we get. So let's say we will call this function generate invoice number, and we will give in the customer ID as 123. And let's remove all of the code before this. And if we run this, it is giving us this as the date and this as the time. So we are getting both date and time. So what we can do is now we can get only the date. That is what we want, right? So we can get the dates, and in order to do that, again, we will refer to their documentation. What can we use? And they have mentioned that you can use the following function to do this. So current date, which is this, dot string of our time in the format of this. So day, month, and year. So if you wanted year, month, and date, you can write here first year, then month, and then date, and so on. So now if we print this, we will only get this as a number. So right now it's 3rd July, this is July, this is 3rd, and this is 2024. If I wanted to change this, if I just wanted month and year, I can remove this and run it again, and I will get 7 July 2024. So it's up to you which format do you want. So we want with date. So day, month, and year. So now that we have the current date, all we need to do is we need to add this before and this after. So what I can do is I can write here invoice underscore number equals, we can write an F string, and then we can write that CVZ, and then we can write the customer ID, and then we can write the current date. So that is the format that we wanted, right? How did you comment out the selected lines of code? Control and slash. Yes, that is correct. He said it the first day I used it. Yes. So yeah, in chapter 2, we learned that you can do control and slash to comment. Okay, so here we will have our invoice number, and then we can return this, return invoice number. We will remove this print, and right now it will return this. So we can write here that our, let's say, customer underscore 1 equals this. So now we can print customer underscore 1, and it will print us, this is our invoice number. Is that clear? Is everything clear till the functions? So if it is clear, then we are going to go ahead and start with building our portfolio website. how to get full year. Full year. It is full year 2024. The while loop. The while loop, as I mentioned, is not very useful. You can learn, of course. What we are doing is we are teaching you the very basics. Now, this is not the end of the world. You do have to learn further. So we have given the basics, and then you can move on to other advanced topics as well. I'm deploying Streamlit app on Streamlit, sharing CV, video capture doesn't work. Streamlit WebRTC has its own UI and poor quality. How do you use JS to take live webcam and within the frames? Yeah, you can do that, but it takes a few lines of code. So let's first look at the portfolio website, and then we will look into the OpenCV part as well. So is everyone ready? Short break? Sure, we can take a short break, and then we will continue with building our websites. So we will take a 5 minutes break, and then we will start. I hope that is fine with everyone. Okay, great. So we will take a short 5 minutes break, and then we are going to come back. What library are we using to build the website? We'll be using Streamlit. I will show you how to do all of that. So let's go for the break, and we will continue. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is here. We have some comments. 5 minutes are over now. Yeah, true. So now we are going to go ahead and start building our portfolio website. So let's have a look at what exactly are we talking about. So if I go to murtaza.streamlit.app, then this is what we get. Now here you can see you have, hi, I am Murtaza Hassan, and then you have an image here, then you have a chatbot, or do we call it a chatbot? Not really a chatbot. It's basically your bot, custom bot that will answer anything on your behalf. For example, what did you study? I studied mechatronics for my bachelor's and later specialized in robotics at Bristol University, which is correct. So you can also ask, what do you do? What's your YouTube channel? Where can I contact you? And so on. So again, this is just for a demo. Now it depends on how much answers do you give it, how much information do you provide the chatbot, how much customization you have done on it will reflect on the final answers. So this is what we are going to learn how to do, and this is what we are going to do today. So is this the final project? Yes, it is kind of the final project, but we are going to learn a little bit about computer vision as well tomorrow, related to OpenCV and object detection and so on. Then we have some information, we have a list, then we have a YouTube video. You can play that video, and then you have the setup and long image, and then you have my skills, programming 70%, teaching 90%, robotics 85%. Again, up to you. What numbers do you want to add? And then you have a gallery. Now, this is very important. You want the world to see that you have actually done something. So you want to be seen in action. That's the main idea. And then that's the contact part. You can add here LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want, you can add that. So before we begin, are you excited to build this? Tell me in the chat. I want lots of emojis. I want lots of answers in the chat. Are you excited to build your own personal portfolio website, including an AI bot? I mean, come on. And I'm saying we are going to do it today, right now. So by the end of this, hopefully, if there is something left, maybe we will continue tomorrow, but maybe 70–80% we are going to complete today. So the question comes, can we publish this project? It is already published. You can go ahead and visit this. Go to your browser and write this in your browser, and it will take you to the exact same page. By the way, I also have my actual website, murtazahassan.com, which is pretty much the same thing. So what I did, I took my real portfolio and I tried to replicate that. So this is my portfolio. You can see there's a list, there's a video, then the YouTube setup, some information, a gallery, and then some more information, and then contact and inquiry. So again, if you wanted to, you can add lots of more information than what I've done over here. And as you can see, it's pretty much similar to what we have done. So we are getting a lot of emojis. Love that. Very excited. Amazing. So we have a rocket. We have a brain. And then we have some glasses. We have some popcorns. We have a trophy. Nice. I am not sure what this blue emoji is. I've seen this recently. The blue emoji with the face. Can you make one series in Hindi? I think you can simply translate this. They have option of translation, and it should be easy to follow along. And most of this stuff is already in English, so it's hard to explain if somebody is not familiar with English, then it's hard to teach them programming. The Streamlit code is currently run in your PC or cloud. It is running on the cloud. You can go and visit this website on your browser and it will work. And believe me or not, right now, because we are having this, bootcamp, I was lucky enough to get my link very easily, get my domain very easily. So right now, Murtaza was available. Now, maybe after this, people will try to create their portfolio websites. And then if you have similar names, then you might not get the domain. So make sure you get your domain and make sure it's very small. So murtaza.streamlit.app. I mean, that's not a bad domain at all. So you can do that. I've been following you for a long time. It's a shame that the content and streams are not in Spanish. Well, I don't speak Spanish, but I believe you can use the captions in Spanish. Where can we publish? So I will show you the publishing part as well. So is everyone ready? Are you ready? So the moment is here. We will publish the website. We will build the website. We will publish the website. We will do all of that. This is called face blue smiling. I like it. It's very energetic. Yes, but the automatic translator is not very clear. Oh. So maybe when the AI becomes a little more advanced, we can use AI for translation as well. Hopefully that will work. Bilkul, sir. Thank you. I consciously work in Streamlit, but I did not know we can publish it also. Great learning today, sir. That's great. Now you will be able to publish your Streamlit apps. Very easy, very quick to do. Is there any cost associated to publish? No, there is absolutely no cost associated to publish. Now, there is one thing that you do have to note, that you need to make sure every 5 days you open this website, or they will make it inactive, right? So even if you open it after 10 days, then it will restart. So if you don't want it to restart or shut down, make sure even if you visit or somebody else visits in 5 days, if nobody visits in 5 days, then it will shut down. So that's the only thing. Thanks to you, I made a real spoof model with almost 1 million images and it looked great. Okay, that's great. Do share the results with us. Email us at contact@cvzone, computervision.zone, and we'll love to hear and see the results. If automated Python code, visit then. Yeah, then it will work, I believe. Yeah, it is possible to create a bot as well. To impress prospective employers, which tools would you suggest to create a portfolio website? It depends. What are you trying to impress them with? Are you trying to impress them with React? Then make it in React. If you're trying to impress in JavaScript, make it in Java, right? Just plain vanilla JavaScript. You can do that as well. Now, if you are, let's say, a doctor, or if you are an accountant and you want to impress with your other talents, then it doesn't matter what your portfolio website is built of. Should I watch live or watch from beginning? You can watch live. So we are going to start from the very start, and we are going to start right now. Okay, so we have waited a long time, and I know all of you are waiting to build this portfolio website. So let's get started. So I am getting excited as well. I'm very excited because I want to see your portfolio websites, and the competition is also related to that. I will tell you later on, but keep in mind that the competition is related to this. Can our portfolio website be hosted on Firebase? Firebase is used to for database mostly. I'm not sure if they host files as well. Okay, let's get started. What we will do is we are going to go ahead and create a new file, and we are going to call it, what do you want to call it? Portfolio. Okay, so that will be the name of our project, portfolio. Is that a good name? It's not a good name. Let's say portfolio website, right? I mean, that's better. Portfolio website. We will go with that. Let's close everything else so it's not confusing. Okay. So now we are going to create our portfolio website using Streamlit. Now, a few minutes ago, we learned about functions. So Streamlit is a library that has lots of functions that will allow us to build our website very easily. For example, if you want to add an image, you can simply write, you can ask Streamlit, please add an image. It's pretty much similar to what I've said. So you will give the image and Streamlit will add it to your website. So these are different functionalities that you will get from Streamlit. So let me just show you their website first. It's very popular nowadays. There you go. A faster way to build and share data apps. So remember, it is a faster way to build and share. So you will be able to share for free as well. So here you can see deploy on community cloud. It's free. So that's how easy it is. So you can see, you can put graphs, you can put images, you can put calendar, you can put these selectors, radio buttons, you can put even a pick color option, right? All of this is just built in. You can see it's single line code. If you want to put a chart, just write this. If you want to put a slider, just write this. If you want to put a file uploader, just write this. So one example I want to add here, which is very useful, is you can create an app in which you can upload a PDF, then you can extract information from that PDF and give it to AI. It will do some calculation, some processing, and it will give you the answer. So again, it can be very useful for automation. For example, there's an HR manager. They get, let's say, 100 CVs a day. They can import the file. It can look at all the CVs. It can send it to AI. It can process and give you the list of 5 applicants that are best suited. So again, you can automate the things for your benefit as well, not only for selling. right? You can do this for your own benefit. So you can deploy it instantly. And these are some of the apps people have made and they are available that you can use. Okay, that being said, we are going to go and install the library. Now, to install any library, there are two main methods. One method is go to File and then go to Settings. Now, in Mac, it will be similar, but it might not be File, it might be something else. I use it in Mac as well, but I don't remember what's the name of that. But you have to go to Settings. So just find Settings, and then you will go ahead and look at the project. Here you will see it says project, right? And if you click on project, you can see Python interpreter. Whenever you hear the word interpreter, remember it's the translator, Python translator. That is what it means. So we will click on that. And here you can click on add. So whenever you want to install a library, you can simply click on add. So here you can search for any library. So here, for example, we will write Streamlit, and there you go. This is the spelling. Let me copy that and paste in the chat. So I'm waiting for everyone to continue till this part. So here you will write Streamlit, and then you will simply click on install package. Here you can see it says install package. So you will simply hit on that, install package. Now, this is one way to do it, right? This is one way to do it. Now, the other way is to do it. Yes, you will install the latest version. The other way to do is you can go to the terminal. Now, in the newer versions, you will find the terminal here. You will find this icon or terminal over here. So you can click on that, and then you can click on this arrow, and then you can click on command prompt. I will repeat. You go to terminal, you go to this arrow and command prompt, and here you can write pip install whatever the name of the library. So for example, Streamlit. So I will copy this as well if you wanted to use this. But for beginners, I have seen that beginners find the first method more easier. So go to File, go to Settings, and go to Project, Python Interpreter, and Add. And then here you will write Streamlit, and you will hit install. So when you write, when you click on install, then it is installing. The way you can see it is by going back, and you can see here you can see, oh, is it done? I think it's done. No, it's installing. So here you can see it says installing package Streamlit. So sometimes they call it package, sometimes they call it library. It's up to you what you want to call it. Don't get into the debate of whether they are the same thing or they're different, or what are the differences between them. So right now it's updating the Python interpreter and it's done. So the way you can tell if it's done or not is you can write the code to check. So in order to write the code to check is simply import. So if you remember in the previous chapter, we wrote here import date time. That was the library date time. Now here we will import Streamlit. And we will import it as st. Now why we write st is because whenever we want to call Streamlit and we want to use its function, for example, we have a function for image. So I can write Streamlit dot image, right? But then instead of writing it like this, I can write st dot image. So this is a little more easier than this. That's why we write that whenever we write st, it basically means Streamlit. So that's the idea behind this. So some of you are saying it's installing. Okay, so let's add a poll. Let's add a poll so that everyone has installed before we move on. So while everyone is installing, we can go ahead and look at Streamlit. So if you go to their page and you go to documentation. So as I mentioned, every library, every good library will have documentation. So even our library, which is CV Zone, has documentation. We have video documentation and we have written documentation as well. So you can go to the written documentation of Streamlit. And over here, you can learn about different things. So here you can see it says get started. So if we click on installation, it's telling you what we wrote here, pip install Streamlit, right? So that's basically, or you can install the way I showed you using Streamlit. And then it's showing you how to run it. I will show you how to run it. But then you can look at the fundamental, the basic concepts. Then here you can see different code and its explanation, why they are writing it like this. Then you also have deploy knowledge base concepts. First steps to create an app. So again, it's up to you. How do you want to proceed? How do you want to learn about this? Now, nowadays, a good way to learn is using ChatGPT as well. So for example, you wanted to create a slider in Streamlit. Instead of going through the whole documentation, you can ask ChatGPT. So you can go to ChatGPT or any other AI model. And then you can ask, how can you see that? No. How can I create a slider in Streamlit? So again, it's showing first you have to install by pip install Streamlit, and then you import Streamlit as st like we did, and then you have to write st.slider, and then you write it like this. I mean, come on, can it be more simpler than this? It's amazing how easy it is. Now, if you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, these things can be a little more difficult. If you know React, you know creating those components can be a bit more difficult, much more difficult than this. So yeah, so it's a blessing that we are living in such an era where we have AI and what do you call libraries like Streamlit. It says Python quit unexpectedly. So you might have to reinstall Python. Do we need GitHub account? Yes, but I will show you that later on when we reach that point. So please install. I'm waiting for you to install. I'm waiting for everyone to finish installation. So what I will do now, I will put this on one side, and then I will put, let's say, the portfolio website on the other side. So we know what exactly are we trying to make, because we are going to make the exact same thing. So I will minimize this so that we can see the code on one side and we can see how it runs on the other side. That's pretty much how you usually code if you have a single screen. If you have multiple screens, then you can have one on one screen, the other on the other. These live lessons will be recorded, yes, but they will only be available for a short period of time, and then it will be gone. Can we use HTML to build the front end of the website and Python? Yes, of course. You can use Python for the back end. For that, you need something like Django or what do you call Flask or Fast API, something like that, to help you out with that. Okay, so more than 80% of you are saying that it has been installed. So now we are going to go ahead and start with the basics. So how do you run this? First of all, we are going to write a very small code, and then we are going to check how can we run it. So in order to do or in order to run this, the very first thing we will need is basically your title. Okay, so what we will have is we will write st.title, and then you can write I am Murtaza Hassan. So write it like this. Of course, write your own name. And then what we will do is we will run it. Now running it is a little bit more difficult, but not that difficult. So how you run it, you don't run it from here. Okay. So again, you will go to this arrow. You will go to command prompt. Again, you will go to this arrow. You will go to command prompt, and then you will see there is a virtual environment here. This needs to be there. Make sure that this is there. If you click on here, you can see it's not there, right? So make sure that this is available. When it is there, then you are going to write Streamlit run. So it's like English. You are saying Streamlit run my app. How simple is that? So what is the name of your app? The name of our app is portfolio underscore website. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Underscore website dot py. So if you ran it correctly, if you ran it like this, let me make it bigger first. So if you ran it like this, Where did the code go? Then it should be basically you will get a link and it will open up a local host. So you can click on this link and it will open up your website. So I will repeat it. You have to go click on the arrow, command prompt, then you have to write Streamlit run, and then you write the name of your app. So in our case, the name of the app is portfolio website. So you will write here portfolio underscore website dot py. So I will copy this and I will paste it in the chat in case anyone wants to copy it. So if virtual environment is not visible, then you have to click on this arrow, then click on command prompt. Asking me for an email. Asking you for an email. Maybe it does in the very beginning. I can't remember, does it ask email or not? So when you do that, this is what you will get. There you go. Congratulations, you have your website running. I am Murtaza Hassan. That is your website. Right now, everyone cannot access it, but you have built your own website. So I will put this on one side and I will put this and the other one over here. So guys, if you have done that, if it is visible to you, please send some emojis in the chat. Send some emojis in the chat. And in fact, send the clapping emoji. Yes, HS Math has done it right. Send the clapping emoji because you have done something amazing. You have created your website, which is running. So great to see a lot of you. It's working for a lot of you. Mine is black background. Maybe you have an app installed for dark mode. Great to see a lot of emojis. I love the emojis. Can we adjust the text size in title just like in HTML, CSS? So you have multiple options. If you click on this title, it will take you here, then it will take you to the function, and here are the inputs that you can give. So again, you can read the documentation on it as well. But yeah, there are options. But right now, we are not going to go into that much detail. I will show you how can you have different sizes, fixed sizes, not custom. So now that a lot of you have this running, file does not exist. Okay, file does not exist happens. I will tell you when that happens. That happens when you created a folder and you put your file inside that folder. So make sure this is the parent of your file. The project directory is the parent of your file. If I open it up in Explorer, you can see this is the folder Python Bootcamp, and inside that we have the portfolio website. So you might have created another folder and put that inside that folder. So if you do that, then you need to go to that folder. So I don't recommend do that. Just bring it outside, bring it to the parent folder. Okay, I hope that is clear. So we are getting a lot of emojis. Love it. A lot of you are right on the way to building your own portfolio website with integrated AI. How long has the session been so far? 2 hours? But we are having fun, right? So it doesn't really feel like 2 hours. It feels fun, to be honest. Is that popcorn? Is that emoji of a popcorn, right? With a face on it. I did not see that before. That's pretty awesome. So I hope everyone is following. Somebody had the file existing issue. I hope that is solved. Oh yes, it is solved. Great. Is anyone else facing this issue? This is the main thing. If you are not able to run this part, you will not be able to build the website. So make sure that you are able to run this. If you are facing any issues, then send me in the chat. I had the file issue, but I deleted and recreated. Right. So yeah, you can face that issue, but it's very easy to solve. Just make sure it's in the parent folder, which is Python CV Bootcamp. Okay, so now we are going to move on. And what we will do is, we will do it the opposite way. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and check what we need, and based on that we will add and learn. Now normally you learn and then you see, okay, I learned this, now I will apply that. No, we will look at the website and we will try to replicate that, right? So let's go to the website. This is our website, and here you can see it says hi, and then there is a what do you call, wave. So we can, now this is a different size, right? This is small and this is big. So what we can do, if you wanted to write text, there are other options. You can write st.write. You can use st.subheader. So these are other options where you can use a smaller font. In this case, we don't want it very small. So here you can see this is very small. We don't want that. We want a little bit bigger. So we will use subheader. So here we are going to write subheader, and inside that we are going to put hi. And if we go to our websites and refresh, you will see it says hi. Now this is the beauty of running Streamlit. We just ran it once. Now we don't need to run it again and again. We just need to refresh, and that's it. And that will give us the exact same result. It will give us the updated part. Now I join. It's okay. Just install Streamlit and follow along with us. To integrate Streamlit with Dart, Flutter, can this portfolio website be written with Dart, Flutter 2 with some parts in Python? I haven't tried that, but there would be a way to do that. What is the time? You mean here? Over here right now it's 10. Or do you mean how much time is left? Yes. So there will be a competition and there will be judges, as you can see over here. You can see the judges, meet the judges. It's Dr. Satya Malik. He is the CEO at OpenCV. And we also have Ritesh Kanji. He is the CEO of Augmented AI. And I will be a judge as well. And we will look at all the different submissions. Now, what exactly is the contest about? I will explain tomorrow. So that's the basic idea. So is everyone on board? Are you able to get this? The prizes will be also explained tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will start the same time, which is 8. So some people, I will repeat, some people are having an issue of running the Streamlit app. So how do you run the app? Just have a look at it again. You will click on this arrow and then you will go to command prompt. Again, you will click on this arrow and you will go to command prompt, or you might see this as terminal. Over here on the left hand side, you might see the terminal. You will click on it and then you are going to write Streamlit run, and then you will write the name of your website. So you will write portfolio underscore website.py, and then you will hit enter. So once you hit enter, you will see something like this. And then when you click on it, this is what you will get. So is that clear? I am not getting the same emoji. No, run portfolio website.run. No, that's not the command. The command is Streamlit run portfolio website. Please tell me which plugin is required in Python in order to use syntax autocomplete. Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Okay, so is everyone able to reach this point? Because I'm waiting, because if everyone is not able to do this, they will not be able to create the website. That's why I want to make sure. Let me add a poll. Okay, mine is not working. So what issue are you facing? Did you write, if you are getting this, just make sure you write this command in front of it and it should work. Or are you getting an error? Dear, you are writing it wrong. Streamlit run portfolio website dot py, not dot run. Here you are writing dot run. That's why you are getting that error. Please help me. Can you tell me how to send these OpenCV coordinates for simulation? So right now we are doing a website. So let's focus on that. And then we are going to, later on, we can discuss that. You can email us with your queries. So we had somebody saying that they were not able to run it. Their problem gets solved. So what is the name of your what is the name? Shape Saga 353. What is the name of your file? So whatever the name of the file, make sure you write that. So what did you name the file? It should be the exact same thing. Yes, that is correct. So whatever the name, were you able to run it? Shape Saga 353. And we had somebody else as well that said that they were not able to run. So are you able to run, Ifat Mehnaz? Are you able to run? So we are almost getting ready to get started. Okay, so let's now continue. So here we have our subheader, which is hi, and then we have a wave. So now in order to write this emoji, we can write colon wave colon, and if we go back and refresh, we will get that hi. So this is basically our initial part where we are writing so then if Admina says yes, it works. Okay, that's good. NVIDIA NIM versus AI toolkit for VS Code. So I don't understand the question. Depends on what are you building. My wave emoji is different than yours. Okay, but it's still, so why not? So there we have the subheader. Then the next thing is the image. Now, if you want this image, now if you wanted to create the exact same thing, then you can go to my website, murtazahassan.com, or you can go to streamlit.app and you can get this information. But I would recommend you put your own image, right? That's obvious that you put your own image. So where exactly do we put this image? So we will put it in our project. So here you can see these are all our files. Yes, you can add your own image. So what we will do is we will create a folder called images, because we don't want to put all the images here. We might have 50 images, we might have 30, so we don't want to overcrowd this. So we will right click and create a new directory. So a directory basically means a folder. It's just a fancy way of saying folder. So we will create the directory, and the directory, we can name it whatever you want. So we will call it images. So I missed some images. I missed some videos. I hope I would follow them later. Yeah. So you can, right now, what we are doing is something you can follow along, and later on you can continue with that. So here you will see there's a folder called images. Again, it's just a folder. If you right click it, open in Explorer, you will see it is literally a folder. That's it. Some people get confused by the name directory and they're like, oh, what is it? What's a directory? So don't get confused. It's just a folder. And inside this folder, you can add your image. So I have my image here. I will paste it. It's murtaza.png. You can go ahead to my website. You can right click and save image. You can do that as well. But again, I would recommend you go and use your own image. I'm going somewhere, sorry, I'll continue later. That's fine. Just do share your results with us. We'd love to see them. Okay, so now that we have our image here, you can see our image is basically in murtaza.png, is inside the images folder. So I can show you again. I can also copy and I can right click and paste here. Murtaza.png, okay, and it will be saved here. So it's just a folder, just put it in the folder, that's it. And then we can simply say st.image, and then we give the link of this image. So it is in the folder images. So we will put double quotes. We will write images / murtaza.png. This is the name images / then murtaza.png is the file name. Is that clear? Basically, this is that image. So if I go and refresh this now, you will say, it says, hi, I am Murtaza, but the image comes in, but it is below. How to fix that, I will share, but for now, make sure you can get this part. So here, my image is rotated in the website. So it might be a thing of portrait and landscape. Just rotate it outside the software and rotate it and bring it back and it should work. Yes, you can add any image for now and later on just change the name here. Whatever image you are putting, let's say your name is, where can I find a name? Let's say your name is Asadullah. Then your image is asadullah.png. So you can write here asadullah.png. So that's how simple it is. So then now we need to split it up into two sides. So we want two columns, right? So here you can see I have split it up into two columns because that looks a little bit more better. In my original website, you can see it is the same. It is split into two parts. So that's why we are copying that. So we will split it into two parts. Now, how can we do that? It's very simple. All you have to do is you have to write column 1 and column 2. These are the names of those columns equals st dot columns. And then how many columns we need? We need 2. So st dot columns will create 2 columns. But then how do we refer to those columns? We will call them by their name, column 1, column 2. You can write anything here, but it's easier to write it the way they are pronounced. So column 1 and column 2. So now if I want to put something in column 1, I can write with column 1 and then I can put it inside that. So I will select all of this and press tab. Now this part of my code is in column 1. And then if I want to put this in column 2, I will write with column 2. I will press tab here so that it goes inside that column like this. Now if I go back to my portfolio websites and refresh this, we get an error. What is that error? Probably the spellings, LUMNS. It's always the spellings. If we refresh that, then you can see it works. So here on one side you have hi, I am Murtaza Hassan, and on the other side you have the image itself. Is that clear? Has everyone reached this point? These are the very basics of how you can split, how you can add a name, how you can add an image. Once you understand these concepts, it's very easy to continue and build your own website the way you like it. I didn't really catch it because I'm new to Streamlit. That's fine. Just let me know which part you want to understand. and I will explain it again. That's the whole point of this bootcamp, so you can ask questions and let me know what is the issue that you are facing. So I will just repeat overall that if you wanted to create columns, you can write st.columns, and let's say you wanted to create 3 columns. So you can write here 3, and then you will need to write here column 3. Now if you refresh this, you will see it's 3 columns, and I can write here with column 3, I can write, let's say, st dot title, I am column 3. There you go. So this is column 1, this is column 2, and this is column 3. So again, if you wanted more columns, you can add more columns here. Same way you're doing, you can write here 2, and then it will give you 2 columns. We refresh this, and there you go. How to open file image for insert image. That's called a file uploader. No, don't add 3 columns. I'm just explaining regarding the columns. Yeah, you can use st.fileuploader. So if you wanted to upload a file, you can use st.fileuploader. We'll look into that later on. But for now, we are going to copy our website. So right now we have hi, we have Murtaza image, we have I am Murtaza Hassan, and then we have another title, Murtaza's AI bot. So we will write it down here. And this is just 1 column, so we can simply write st dot, is it a title or a subheader? It's a title, I believe. So if we go and refresh now, you will see it says here Murtaza's AI bot. Now, what you can do is you can add spaces as well, because right now you can see it's very close to this image. If you want to add space, just write st.title, and inside that just add empty space. That's it. So if you refresh now, you will see it will go down a little bit. So that's the basic idea. Not file uploader. I want to open file in my laptop. I want to find where it's located. I'm not sure what are you trying to. You want to add your image. So make sure it is in this folder. Like make sure it is in the project folder. So we created images folder. Inside that we put our image. It shows that runtime hasn't been created in output. Runtime hasn't been created. Are you trying to press the run button here? Don't do that. Just go and refresh here. Don't keep pressing the run part. I believe if you press that, you will get that error. If I run that, run with the following command. No, it's not that error. Runtime hasn't been created in output. Just make sure that you have you have ran this part. Streamlit run portfolio website.py. If you had this running earlier, you did not have to change anything. Can we change the background of the website? You will have to do some custom HTML for that. I'm not sure if they have a default for background, but it's good to keep white. I would recommend keep it white. It makes it look minimalistic and nice. It's a good design overall if it's white. So is everyone able to follow this part? Can I use .jpg instead of PNG? Yes, you can use. It shows an error. What is the error? But in my device, it's set to dark mode. It won't affect in your project. Yes, it won't affect. If we look at it, anybody else looks at it, it will not affect. It will be white because we did not do dark mode. So the ones who are getting an error, can you please mention what error are you getting? So if you tell me that, then it will be okay. We have a few questions. Can we customize? As you say, we can customize it with HTML. Then please guide us with it because I'm having knowledge. I want to use it to make it more beautiful. Okay, I will tell it for you, but overall, it's not very good to start with that because it can cause some issues later on. So you can basically use, I believe, Markdown, st dot markdown, and then inside that you can write any HTML that you want. And there's another question. It's showing me locally, but when I go through Git and deploy, shows me an error. We will get to the cloud, don't worry. We will deploy it. If I would like to use VS Code in future, how can I run Streamlit? Is the same command? Yes, it will be the same command. Please help me out. I am stuck at that point for 7 days. I'm following your smart parking project, but I'm computer. It's always right now we are doing the bootcamp. I cannot help you with that right now. You can email us to ask any questions. Yes, that is correct. No matter what IDE you use, you will run the same command. Your picture is nice. Thank you. It shows permission denied because you are using on OneDrive and you are trying to access another probably folder. That's why you don't have the permission to run it. I used ChatGPT to change background color and it worked. Perfect. That is exactly what I want. So you know the basics, and when you need a particular answer, you go to ChatGPT. Excellent. Okay, so hopefully now we can move on. Now, once we have this, we have the AI bot. So for the AI bot, we need an input. So here you can say, it says, ask me anything about me. First, we need to write that. So we can write st.write, right, come on, ask me anything. No, ask anything about me. Yeah. Kindly show the starting of the code. I think it's shown. Yeah, you can see it, right? Can anyone tell me about this workshop? We are creating a personal portfolio website, in short. So that's the idea. So here we have written, ask me anything. And if you refresh this, you will see it says, ask anything about me, right? So that's exactly what we want. And then after that, we need an input field. So how do you add an input field? It's very simple. All you have to do is you have to write text input. So you can write here st.text underscore input, and then you can write inside what do you want the user to input, or you can leave it empty. So for example, I can leave it empty, and if we go to and refresh here, you can see it shows me this text input. There you go. So that's the basic idea. It's very simple. And after that, we will simply add a button which says ask. So that will be the button for ask. So you can write here st.button ask. Can you see how simple this is? I mean, it's so easy to follow along all of that. You just write button. If you need a button, you write title. If you need a title, you write input text. If you need an input, I mean, it cannot be easier than this. Now, one thing we have done in Streamlit is that I have extended this till the end of this part. So the width is extended. So you can do that too by writing here, use container width, and you can give in the value, for example, 400. Now, if you go back and refresh, you can see refresh, and you can see the ask now is a long button. So it's up to you. How do you want to add that? So is everyone able to understand and follow along? How do I change the space between ask me anything and input? You can add this title, or you can add, if you want less space, you can add st.write, and then you can add an empty space. So for example, you can add it here. So for example, you want it here, right? So if you refresh this, You can see it increases. There you go. Also, how do I remove OneDrive IP directory? Remove it for months. You can Google that, I believe. How do I decrease it? Decrease what? Oh, you mean the space? It has a default space. Again, if you wanted to change the defaults, then you have to go into custom CSS. So there's no work around it. You have to. Right now, I think it's decent. Label got an empty value. This is discouraged for accessibility reason. For many users in the future, by raising an exception, please provide a non-empty label and hide it with label visibility. Did you get that error or warning or what? I believe that's just a warning. Shouldn't be a problem. Oh yeah, I'm getting that warning as well. That it's an empty label and that and blah blah blah. Yeah, we can fix that later on, but for now, that's fine. Okay, I am back. Can you summarize, please? So far, this is what we have done. We haven't done a lot. It's just Streamlit and some subheader, some title, and here you can see we have the text input and then the button. So next up we have again we have two sections, so we can write here column 1 and column 2 equals st dot columns 2. There will be two columns, and then we can write with column 1 we are going to write down some information. So for example, we can write st dot subheader, and we will write YouTube channel, and then on the other side we will write with column 2 we can give in the link of the video. So we can write here st dot video, and then we will simply give in the link, and that's it. So I believe that is the link. Let me check. So you can pick any YouTube video and give the link of that. Right now I'm using this as my main video. So if I go back and refresh this, you will see on one side it says YouTube channel, and the other side it shows a video. And you can see the spacing is not good, so we can add a little bit of spacing with the title. There you go. Now we have some spacing. Does this site auto translate, or is it a single language? I haven't tried other languages, so I'm not sure. Yes, we are almost done. What we will do is we will finish this side, and then later on, tomorrow, we are going to continue the website. So we are almost done. We are just going to, can you send the video URL? Sure. That's the video URL. I'll test this in Moscow. Sure, it should work there as well. Oh, you mean the language? Or Russian language, or what do you mean? Anyhow, we will continue. Now in column 1, we also have a list. Now normally what you can do is you can write st.write, and you can add whatever you have. For example, you can write largest computer vision channel. You can write it like this, and then if you refresh this, you will see nothing happened. Why is that? What happened? So it doesn't show anything when we write it like this. Let me try st.title. Does that work? Yeah, that works. Largest computer vision channel. Or you can also write subheader. And if we run that, that also works, but it doesn't look very nice. So we should use write. Was it right? Right. And if we refresh this, there you go. Now it's showing. Not sure what happened earlier. So yeah, so you can write different points. So for example, here I have written largest computer vision channel, 400 subscribers, 150 free tutorials, 15 million, 1.5 million. So stuff like that. So what you can do is you can copy all of that information. So I can simply copy these lines, and then I can put this information. There you go. So if I refresh this now, there you go. YouTube channel, largest, 400, 150, 15 million, 1.5, and so on. It shows when I use st.write. Yeah, I don't know what happened. When I refresh it again, it worked. Can we use that for the contest? Yes, of course you can use that for the contest. Can you share the image? You can use your own images. If you want to use mine, you can go to either murtaza.streamlit.app or you can go to murtazahassan.com. These are the two places you will find all the relevant material. Can you put the code in a GitHub repository after? Yeah, we will do that as well. Don't worry. So once that is done, I think we are good to go for today. And tomorrow we are going to continue our website. We have this image, we have sliders, we have a gallery, and we have the contact. So once we complete those things, then we are going to go ahead and add our AI part. And then we will look into the OpenCV part as well. So that is what we will be looking at tomorrow. So I hope you have learned something new today. I hope this was exciting. And don't forget, tomorrow we are going to upload this so that you can share that link. Like you have murtaza.streamlit.app, you will have your own link that you will be able to share. And I will ask you to share that in the chat as well. And I would love to see your personal portfolio. So add your images, add what you have done so I can see and I can display it during the live session as well. In OpenCV, are we going to need a camera? Yes. So you will need a camera for OpenCV. We will do some live detections. That's it. Thank you for the video and the hard work. Thank you for joining. Can you tell us about the competition? So I will explain tomorrow the competition, what it will be, and there will be a section for competition where it will explain all of that. Can I use Teledrone? You can use Teledrone anywhere you want. That's okay. You can use a video as well if you don't have a camera. You can use a pre-recorded video to test. Thank you very much. Everything looks easy with you. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. You are most welcome. Are you doing the stream daily? So far, yes. So it's every day. Today I created. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. I believe that is pretty much it for today. As always, the code will be available. You will be able to see all of this on our website. You can go to our website and log in, and here you will see day 1, day 2, day 3. So in day 3, you will see all of the code for today, and the previous code is in day 2, and so on. So that is it for today, and thank you for joining. It was a lot of fun to create this, and we will continue tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.